5 Karens, 5 shocking endings, each more disturbing than the last. Their need for control collided with fate in ways no one saw coming. But what happens when pride meets tragedy, and who really pays the price? On July 14, 2017, the air in suburban Ohio hangs heavy at 102 degrees. So hot that the streets shine like mirrors of melted glass. Cicadas scream from the trees as if warning that something is coming, their song rattling the still air. Karen Mitchell grips the wheel of her 2014 Chevy Tahoe, metallic beige, weighing over 5,600 pounds. She has always loved the way it feels like a fortress, tall and strong, a machine that answers only to her. Karen, 43 years old, divorced and raising 2 children, once dreamed of being a lawyer. She had the books, the mind, the sharp words that could cut a man in half. But her custody fight drained her spirit, and she left school behind. Her new belief became her armor. Respect is not given, it is taken. Friends and family whisper that her temper burns too bright. Her sister told her once, in a quiet kitchen with the clock ticking, "One day it'll catch up to you, Karen." She laughed at the warning, brushing it off like dust. Now the smell of hot tar mixes with gasoline as she parks at the strip mall lot. The sun glares off every windshield like blades of fire. Her hand tightens on the steering wheel until her knuckles shine white. Sweat runs down her back beneath the royal blue blouse she wears like battle armor. Above, storm clouds gather, deep gray and swollen, rumbling low like drums on the horizon. Dogs bark behind chain fences nearby, sensing tension in the air. Karen pushes her door open with a sharp swing, her heels clicking on the pavement. There is a tremble in the air, as if the world itself is holding its breath. For a moment she feels taller than the sky, but as she walks across the lot, the Tahoe sits waiting, engine still idling, a giant metal shadow with more weight than she can ever control. By 4:38 p.m. the heat is suffocating, pressing against her chest like a heavy blanket. She steps forward toward a woman who blocks her path near the store entrance. Words spark like flint, small at first but rising. Karen raises her voice, each word booming sharper than the last. Her finger jabs the air, her eyes locked on her target. People nearby stop and watch, some frozen, some shaking their heads. For a moment Karen's voice wins. The other woman lowers her gaze, and the crowd quiets, as if Karen has pulled the sky down and made it her crown. She feels strong, invincible, but then her heel slips. The white line painted on the asphalt is slick with oil that has baked all day under the sun. Her body jerks backward, arms flailing for balance, gasps echo across the lot. Behind her the Tahoe, her fortress, hums with life, engine vibrating steady, tires angled just so on the slight slope of the pavement. Time slows to drops of honey. She tries to catch herself, but the ground is harder than she expects. The shock running up her spine. A man shouts, "Stop, don't move." His voice cracks the silence, but it's too late. The SUV shifts, just a few inches at first, rolling backward with the weight of a small elephant. The cicadas fall silent, as if they too sense the turning of fate. Karen pushes against the pavement, heart racing, but the slope is unforgiving. Thunder cracks in the distance, rolling closer. A child screams, a sound high and sharp that cuts through the heavy air. Hez. The Tahoe inches closer, the grille looming like a steel wall, shadows stretching across her body. For one brief second, it seems like the world might stop. The SUV slows as if mercy could exist. Her breath hitches, hope surging inside her chest. She reaches her hand out, fingers trembling, eyes locked on the sky. But the brake had never been pulled. That small lever, no bigger than her palm, was left untouched. Gravity does not forgive. The tires roll again, steady, cruel, gaining weight with each second. Karen's eyes widen as she realizes the truth. The fortress she trusted, the machine she claimed as her power, now becomes her doom. Witnesses step forward, hands outstretched as if they could hold back the steel beast with nothing but skin and will. Someone dials for help, voice shaking, words lost to panic. Seconds stretch like hours. Each breath feels like fire in her chest. Her world shrinks to the sound of rubber on asphalt, the smell of burning oil, the feel of hot pavement against her palms. She tries to rise. She cannot. The Tahoe moves faster now, each inch closing the space between her and the end. The crowd is powerless. Their shouts rise, broken by fear. The storm clouds above grow darker, a curtain ready to fall. Karen is trapped between pride and fate, her fortress becoming her cage. The moment of no return has passed. The steel does not care for dreams. Gravity has spoken, and time, once stretched thin, begins to snap. At 4:38 in the late afternoon, the air is heavy, thick with heat, and the parking lot feels like an oven where every breath burns. Karen's Tahoe sits behind her, engine rumbling low like a growl, the weight of 5,600 pounds balanced on a slight slope. No one notices until it is too late. She has already crossed the line where there is no turning back. Her voice had risen too sharp, her body leaned too far, and now the moment hangs in the air like a glass about to shatter. She stumbles, her heels slipping on the painted line slick with oil, and the crowd gasps as one. A boy holding his mother's hand points with wide eyes, whispering, "Mom, look." The Tahoe shifts an inch, so slow at first it seems like nothing, just a nudge of rubber over stone. But even that small motion carries the promise of danger. Karen, trying to stand, feels her heart slam against her ribs. The smell of gasoline and hot tar fills her nose. The sun burns her eyes, reflecting off windshields, cutting her sight with white glare. For a second she believes she can still win. She presses her palm to the ground, legs trembling, and pulls herself halfway up. The crowd leans forward, tense, caught between hope and dread. Thunder rolls again, closer now, shaking the air as if the sky itself is warning them all. The Tahoe pauses, as if hesitating. Her breath catches, a spark of relief flickers inside her chest. But that hope dies as quick as it came. The wheels roll again, firmer this time, pulled by gravity's hand. The slope is only 3 degrees, measured later by police, but it is enough. She feels the ground tilt against her, though it is her body, not the earth, that shifts. Someone shouts, "Hit the brake," but the words fall useless in the empty driver's seat. The lever inside, the one meant to stop the world from sliding, sits untouched. Her fortress is no longer hers to command. It belongs now to weight, to slope, to silence. Karen twists her body, trying to push away. Her hands scrape against the rough blacktop, tiny stones biting into her skin. Sweat drips into her eyes, stinging, blurring the world. The Tahoe grows larger in her sight, the grille a wall of metal, lines of chrome catching the light like a blade. The sound is low, rolling as the tires grind forward. Every inch feels like a hammer stroke, slow but sure, pounding closer. Bystanders cry out. One man rushes forward, hands out as if he could stop the truck with nothing but muscle and will. He slams his palm against the door, pushing with all his strength. The Tahoe does not care. It slides another half foot, the man stumbling back, his breath ragged. Another voice yells, "Call 911. Phones rise, fingers trembling, screens glowing bright even in the afternoon sun. Time bends, each second stretching long enough to carve fear deep into every witness. Karen's eyes widen, and she sucks in air sharp as glass. The thought flickers through her mind that this cannot be real. Not her, not here. She tries again to rise, legs shaking, but her ankle twists wrong, and she falls back hard. The slap of skin on pavement rings out, final and cruel. The Tahoe moves faster now, the slope giving it more pull. 2 more inches, then 4, then 6. The gap between her body and the tires closes like a mouth ready to bite. Children are pulled away, their cries high and thin, mixing with the rumble of thunder. The smell of rain drifts in, fresh and sharp, even though no drops have yet fallen. The sky turns darker, clouds layered like stone walls. Karen feels the ground shake beneath her, though it is not the earth, but the weight rolling closer. She presses her hands against the asphalt again, skin burning, but there is nowhere left to go. A man kneels beside her, trying to pull her arm, but the Tahoe is too close. He shouts, "Hold on," his voice cracks with fear. Karen locks eyes with him, and in that instant both know the truth. There is no more time. The Tahoe moves another foot, steady, patient, and unyielding. The point of no return has passed, and the world holds its breath as fate slides into place, inch by inch, second by second. without pause or mercy. The Tahoe reaches her, and the sound is not one scream but many. Metal against bone, a crack sharp as breaking branches. The grill slams into her body, pinning her chest to the ground, air ripped from her lungs. She tries to breathe, but each breath is short, ragged, trapped. The tire rolls over her leg, and the snap echoes, cruel and final, like firewood splitting. People cry out, some covering their eyes, others frozen in place. The rumble of the engine never changes, steady and cold, as if it does not know the pain it brings. The cruel twist comes in silence, a small thing lying just beyond her reach. Her handbag, tipped over in the fall, spills neat across the pavement. Lipstick rolls in a slow circle before stopping. Receipts flutter in the wind. A gift card gleams with a silver stripe, untouched and whole. These little items, so simple, so useless now, stay clean while she lies broken. Her fortress, the thing she trusted most, has become the hand that crushes her. Yet her purse remains unmarked. Later, investigators will measure it all. The slope of 3 degrees. The Tahoe's weight, 5,600 pounds. The fact that the parking brake, a lever not even 8 inches long, sat still. A detail so small it seems like nothing. Yet it is everything. One missed pull, one forgotten motion, and gravity wrote the rest. The crowd shakes. A woman screams and drops to her knees, hands pressed to her face. A man kicks at the wheel, as if rage could stop steel. Children cry into their parents' shirts. Someone yells for an ambulance, though everyone knows the damage is already too deep. Sirens rise in the distance, sharp and bright, cutting through the heavy storm air. They are close, but not close enough. Karen's eyes flutter, the sky above her turning darker, clouds stacked like walls. Thunder cracks again, shaking the lot. She thinks of nothing but the sound of her own breath, each one shallow, rattling, fading. Her dream of power, of taking respect from the world, stands against this moment like glass against stone. Her fortress has crushed her crown. The throne she claimed has fallen on top of her, pressing her into the ground. The rescuers arrive, blue lights flashing, tires screeching against pavement. They rush forward, voices loud and fast, ordering people back. Tools slam against metal, the clink and scrape of steel on steel filling the air. They push jacks under the Tahoe, pumping hard, trying to lift its great weight. One shouts numbers, 2 inches, 4, 6, but each inch is too slow. Karen's breaths rattle louder now, like a door in the wind about to break. Witnesses cry harder, seeing the line between hope and truth. Her fortress is too heavy, her body too weak, her dreams too far. The medic presses fingers to her neck, searching for the beat of life, and shakes his head once, eyes closing in sorrow. The irony is sharp, cruel and clear. She built her world on strength, on force, on the idea that control could be taken. Yet in the end, the thing she trusted most betrayed her with silence. The lever she ignored, the brake she thought she did not need, became the final judge. Respect cannot be forced from the pull of gravity. She lies still now, the storm above her cracking wide. Rain finally falls, drops cool against the hot pavement, spattering her spilled purse, dampening the scattered receipts. The gift card shines under the water, new and unbroken. A lipstick tube rolls again, carried by the rain, moving smooth while her body lies unmoving. The crowd begins to shift, whispers crawling through them like shadows. Some step closer, others back away. Eyes are wide, wet and stunned. They see not just the broken woman, but the truth her fall carries. A fortress can become a coffin, and pride can break as fast as bone. Her story ends here, not with words of power, not with the sharp finger raised to the sky, but with silence, with the hum of a machine still running, and the slow drip of rain mixing with the oil on the ground. The throne she made of steel has crushed her down into dust, leaving only echoes in the storm, and a question that hangs heavy: what is control, if one forgotten motion can take it all away? The storm does not leave right away. Rain falls steady, soaking the pavement, washing over the blacktop where oil and water swirl into strange, dark patterns. The Tahoe sits silent now, its engine cut, its weight lifted by steel jacks that tremble under the load. The paramedics work in hushed voices, their hands still moving though their eyes have already told them the truth. Karen does not breathe, And the sound that once filled the lot, her sharp words, her quick steps, her booming voice, is gone. What is left instead are the cries of bystanders, the wail of sirens, and the soft whisper of rain sliding down car windows. By morning, the strip mall is closed. Police tape marks the edges of the lot in bright yellow lines, fluttering in the wet breeze. A news van parks near the entrance, antenna lifted, camera crew setting up fast as the first light spreads across the soaked asphalt. Reporters speak in low tones at first, then louder as the cameras roll. Tragedy in Ohio, one says into the lens, her hair clinging damp to her face. Behind her, the Tahoe is towed away, its grille bent, its body smeared with mud and rain. The lot smells faintly of gasoline and wet earth, a sour reminder of the night before. Neighbors watch from behind fences. Some whisper, some shake their heads. Children on bicycles pause at the tape, their small voices rising as they trade versions of the story they heard from parents, each one more dramatic than the last. By noon, the whispers turn into a single name passed back and forth. Karen Mitchell. It spreads online with speed, her photo posted again and again, sometimes with harsh words, sometimes with sorrow. Comments spark, debates rise, and soon her death is no longer just a moment in one town, but a story carried far and wide. Experts are called, their voices calm but firm. They talk about rolling vehicle deaths, about how one simple habit, pulling a lever no bigger than a child's hand, can mean the difference between life and loss. They cite numbers, more than 50 such accidents every year across the country. Lives ended in parking lots, driveways and streets. Each story is different, but the thread is the same. One forgotten break, one silent slope, one moment that cannot be undone. Karen's case becomes the newest example, her name added to a list that grows quietly, year after year. In town, the story takes on another shape. Teenagers meet at the strip mall at night, where the sodium lamps buzz and flicker orange above the empty pavement. They tell each other about the parking lot queen, a woman who shouted too loud and was crushed by her own throne of steel. Some say if you stand on the white line where she slipped, you can hear the sound of tires rolling even when the lot is still. Others say the cicadas fall silent there, as if the trees remember. The story shifts with each telling, but the ending never changes. Pride and power brought low by weight and silence. The city reacts in its own way. New signs appear in lots and garages. Simple black letters on white metal. Engage parking brake, every time. They seem almost too plain, too small, but they stand as markers of the lesson learned. At the edge of the strip mall, a small plaque is fixed to the ground, unnoticed by most who hurry past. It reads only, "In memory of Karen Mitchell, 1974-2017. A reminder of the cost of one moment." Flowers appear at its base from time to time, left by hands that do not sign their names. Rain falls on them, sun dries them, wind carries the petals away. For those who saw it, the memory does not fade. They speak of the sound, the snap of bone, the rumble of tires, the rattling breath. They recall the look in her eyes, the mix of fire and fear. Some avoid the lot altogether, unwilling to walk where the fortress fell. Others return often, drawn by something they cannot name, as if standing there might help them understand why pride can turn so fast into tragedy. The lesson is simple, yet it cuts deep. Human beings believe they can take control, raise their voices high enough to command the world. But nature does not bend to noise. Gravity has no ears. Steel has no heart. A 3-degree slope will not listen to pride or pain. It moves as it always has, pulling everything downward with quiet, endless force. In that truth lies the sharpest edge. Karen's fortress did not betray her. She betrayed herself by forgetting the one law that cannot be shouted down. And so the story becomes more than just hers. It becomes a mirror for others who drive, who park, who trust machines more than they should. It becomes a warning. Parents tell their children when they hand over car keys for the first time. It becomes a point in safety meetings, a slide in presentations, a line in training manuals. Remember the Ohio case. Always set the brake. Her life ended in a burst of noise and silence, is carried forward in the hope of saving others. Time moves on, as it always does. The cicadas return the next summer, their droning song filling the trees. The same hum that carried warnings the day she died fills the hot air once more, a circle unbroken. The lot is busy again, cars pulling in, doors slamming, shoppers passing by with bags and hurried steps. Most do not look at the plaque. Most do not know her name. But the sound of tires rolling over asphalt lingers. Always the same, a steady reminder that weight and gravity wait for no one. Her legacy is not carved in stone towers or sung in songs. It is written instead in the quiet choices of strangers who pull a lever before stepping away, who glance at a slope and remember the cost of not seeing. It is a legacy of small acts, of caution born from loss. In that way, her story still lives, each time someone avoids the fate she met. But there is more, and there always will be more. For Karen Mitchell's death was not the end of strange and disturbing fates. In Florida just months later, another woman would meet a far darker ending, her final moments twisting into legend that spread even faster. If Karen's story is one of pride and gravity, the next is one of fire and water, a death so chilling it makes this one seem almost quiet. The question hangs now, pressing against the mind of every viewer: what drives people to push so far against fate? And how many times must the lesson be learned? If you want to see the next case, to hear the next voice lost in the storm, then stay with us, because the most disturbing stories are not behind us. They are still waiting to be told, waiting to remind us again of the cost of one choice, one slip, one forgotten break in the turning of the world.